Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 15, texts 25 and 26. This chapter is entitled as the Pandavas retire timely. Jalokasam Jale Yadvan. Oh, acha. So, I'm sorry. Text 26 is written on the board. So, I'll just read the text 25 through and then we all can recite 26 together. Jalokasang Jale Jadvan Mahanto Dantaniyasaha Durvallanna Lino Rajan Mahanto Bolino Mithaha. Text 26. Evam Balishtair Jadubhir Mahadbhir Itaran Bibhu Yadun Yadubhir Annonyam Bhu Bharan Sanjahara Ha. Evam Balishtair Jadubhir Mahadbhiri Taran Bibhu Yadun Jadubhirannonyam Bhubharan Sajaha Bhubharan Sangjaharaha Bhubharan Sanjaharaha. Evam Balishtair Yadubhir Mahadbhiri Taran Bibhu Yadun Yadubhirannonnam Bhubharan Sanjaharaha. Evam Balishtair Yadubhir Mahadbhiri Taran Bibhu Yadun Yadubhirannonyam Bhubharan Sanjaharaha. Some of the aquatics, Jale in the water, Jadvat as it is, Mahantaha the large ones, Adanti swallows, Aniyasaha smaller ones, Durbalan the weak, Balinaha the stronger, Rajan O king, Mahantaha strongest, Balinaha less strong, Mithaha in a duel. Evam thus Balishthai by the strongest, Jadubhi by the descendants of Yadu, Mahadbhi one who has greater strength, Itaran the common ones. Vibhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yadun, all the Yadus. Yadubhi, by the Yadus. Annunam, among one another. Bhubharan, the burden of the world. Sanjahara, has unloaded. How? In the past. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. O King, as in the ocean, the bigger and stronger aquatics swallow up the smaller and weaker ones, so also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to lighten the burden of the earth, has engaged the stronger Yadu to kill the weaker, and the bigger Yadu to kill the smaller. Please repeat after me. O King, as in the ocean, the bigger and stronger aquatics swallow up the smaller and weaker ones, so also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to lighten the burden of the earth, has engaged the stronger Yadu to kill the weaker, and the bigger Yadu to kill the smaller. So, the purport by Srila Prabhupada. आप सबको समझने में कोई मुश्किल नहीं हो रहा है? हाँ, very good. You all are educated young boys, and so it shouldn't be difficult for you. अगर practice नहीं होगा तो हम उसको we won't be able to master the subject. Right? Practice makes a man perfect. Very good. So you understood the, okay, I'll explain afterwards. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In Prabhupada's translations, Prabhupada translated, but then he gave the purport in, he wrote the purport explaining the meaning of each verse. Now this verse that we discussed, that we read just now, Srila Prabhupada gave his purport of this verse. So in the material world, the struggle for existence and survival of the fittest are laws, because in the material world there is disparity between conditioned souls due to everyone's desire to lord it over the material resources. This very mentality of lording it over the material nature is the root cause of conditioned life. And to give facility to such imitation lords, the illusory energy of the Lord has created a disparity between conditioned living beings by creating the stronger and the weaker in every species of life. The mentality of lording it over the material nature and the creation has naturally created a disparity, and therefore the laws of struggle for existence. In the spiritual world, there is no such disparity, nor is there such a struggle for existence. In the spiritual world, there is no struggle for existence because everyone there exists eternally. There is no disparity because everyone wants to render service to the Supreme Lord, and no one wants to imitate the Lord in becoming the beneficiary. The Lord, being creator of everything, including the living beings, factually is the proprietor and enjoyer of everything that be. But in the material nature, but in the material world, by the spell of Maya or illusion, this eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead is forgotten, and so the living being is conditioned under the laws of struggle for existence and survival for the fittest. Jalokasang jale jadban mahanto dantaniyasaha durbalan bolino rajan mahanto bolino mithaha evang bolishthir jadubhir mahadbhir itaran vibhu jadvan jadubhir annonnang bhubharan sangjaharaha. O King, as in the ocean, the bigger and stronger aquatics swallow up the smaller and weaker ones, so also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to lighten the burden of the earth, has engaged the stronger Yadu to kill the weaker, and the bigger Yadu to kill the smaller. So, this chapter is describing how the Pandavas left Hastinapur and went out on a Mahaprasthan Yatra. Mahaprasthan means leaving home. Generally, in order to give up their bodies, they left home and walked towards the Himalayas, walked towards the north. And while walking, they did not eat anything, they did not drink anything, nor did they take any rest. They just walked and walked and walked until their body fell and they died. So when the news came that Krishna left this planet, Krishna has withdrawn his pastimes, at that time Yudhishthir Maharaj decided to leave home and go out in Mahaprasthan. He felt, now what is the use of living? Why live? Krishna has left the planet. So there is no use for me to continue to live. So Yudhishthira Maharaj decided to go out on Mahaprasthan. Then his other four brothers, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev, also decided to follow Yudhishthira Maharaj. And their wife, Draupadi, also decided to do the same. And they just left home. This is how a devotee feels when he is in separation from Krishna. They feel, what is the use of living? As long as Krishna was here, we had such a wonderful association of him, and we always had the opportunity to go and meet him. Whenever we were in difficulties, we approached Krishna, and Krishna helped us, saved us from that difficult situation. But now that Krishna has left, there is no need for us to continue to live. Why does a devotee feel in this way? A devotee feels in this way because of his love for Krishna. When we are in love with somebody, then that is how one feels. What's the point? He feels that my only purpose of my existence is to be with that person, the object of my love. And if he leaves, if I become bereft of his association, then there is no need for me to continue to live. Doesn't one feel like that when in love? You all read the story of Romeo and Juliet? Huh? What happened? What happened? Romeo took a medicine that would make him look like he is dead for some time. So Juliet came and she found that Romeo is dead. So she also took poison, killed herself. And when Romeo came back to life, he felt, what's the point in my living? She is dead, so he also took poison and died. Now in the material nature, this kind of love affairs takes place, but this is rare. In the material nature, actually everyone loves himself the most, isn't it? When someone goes crazy, one can do such a thing, as Romeo and Juliet did. But generally, these kind of happenings are only in the storybooks, not in real life. But a devotee who has real love for Krishna, he feels that way. He feels, what's the point in me remaining alive anymore? Let me also go. Also in the material nature, such things used to happen. You know the process of sati. Actually, the sati was a very noble custom. When the husband died, the wife felt, what's the point in me being alive? Because the love between the husband and wife used to be so deep that when the husband left, wife felt there is no need for me to be alive. So when the husband's body used to burn, the wife used to enter into the fire. Unfortunately, later on, this system had been brutally distorted. Previously, it was a voluntary thing. The wife voluntarily used to become a sati. But later on, what happened? They forced some women, to become a sati. She didn't want to die, but they forced. It's brutal. They tied her up by hands and feet and threw her in the fire. That is what sati became. But actually, this sati is a Vedic process where a wife used to voluntarily enter into the funeral pyre of her husband. Why? Because her love for her husband was so deep that she felt, that what's the point of my being alive when he is gone? But actually, now let us consider, out of love one feels in this way. Now let us consider what is love? What is real love? Love is only for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the material nature, what goes on in the name of love is not love. In the material nature, what is identified as love is lust. Do you all know the difference between love and lust? It has been described in the Vedic scriptures that love is the desire to serve Krishna or please Krishna's senses. And lust is the desire to gratify one's own senses. When one tries to give pleasure to Krishna, that is love. When one tries to give pleasure to himself, that is lust. Now, in the material nature, what generally happens? In the material nature, everyone is trying to give pleasure to himself. Actually, Romeo fell in love with Juliet. Why? Because Juliet was a very beautiful young woman. Would Romeo fell in love with an old, wrinkled, shriveled up woman? Would Romeo ever fall in love with, did you ever see any incidents where a young man fell in love with an old woman and because of her he gave up his life? No. Because Juliet was a beautiful young woman, that's why Romeo fell in love. Now tell me why Romeo fell in love with Juliet? Because he wanted to enjoy Juliet. He didn't actually love her. He loved himself. So this is the condition of the material, what goes on in the name of love in the material nature. But when one loves Krishna, then what happens? That love is natural. There is no desire for one's own enjoyment. When one serves Krishna, he simply wants to please Krishna, serve him, because of his love for him. Now, in order to understand this point, let us consider, let's go deep. What is love? What is love? Again, we'll take the meaning of this word from our Vedic scriptures. The Vedic scriptures, I'm taking it from the Vedic scriptures because otherwise nobody knows what love is, isn't it? They use the word love, but nobody knows what love is. They may come up with so many different explanations or so many different descriptions, but they do not know what love is, isn't it? They can describe, yes, a boy fell in love with a girl and this is what they did, but what is love? They don't know. Now the Vedic scriptures are describing what love is. Love is the desire to become united with somebody, isn't it? When we are in love with somebody, we want to be with that person. We want to become united with that person. But actually it is the desire of the spirit soul to become united with Krishna. Why? Because the living entity is a part and Krishna is the whole. Okay, now let me go a little further. Now, this part of your body, this little finger, is a part of your body. Because since it's a part of your body, That's why this little finger should remain connected to your body. Right? If the little finger is separated from your body, then it is unfortunate. Right? Although a finger is a finger, it is a unit by itself. But its existence, the utility of its existence lies in its connection to the body. Now, what is connecting this little finger to the body? There are various things, the muscles, the skin, the nerves, and all these, right? Now, materially, different parts are connected to each other in this way. Jai Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai, Jai Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai Shri Krishna Balaram. In the material nature, say, if this breaks, then what happens? We try to join it. How do we join it? We join it by by welding it, or by putting some glue. Or if the finger becomes disconnected from the body, then how do we join it? By stitching it up. And then the blood starts flowing, the nerves become joined together, and this becomes again a part of the body. Right? Now, to be connected, we need some arrangement. Right? Now, for a soul to be connected to Krishna, the force or the arrangement that is necessary is love. Is that point clear? Love is the force that unites us together. Don't you see that? Like when we love somebody, we want to be with that person. When we hate somebody, we don't even want to see his face. Isn't it? So love unites, hatred separates. Now, so where is love? Love is with the soul. And do you know where the soul resides in the body? In this body, where is the soul situated? Yes? In the heart. Very good. The soul is situated in the heart. And it is the soul who loves. That's why don't we say that we love somebody with all my heart? With all our heart? Do we ever say that we love somebody with all our brain? Do you ever say that? I love you so much with my brain. Do you say that? No. We say love is from the heart. So that indicates that the love is coming from the soul. It is the soul who loves. Our head doesn't love. Our head plans. Right? How am I going to exploit this person? But love has no tendency to exploit, but love actually wants to surrender, to offer. In love, what do we want to do? We want to give ourselves to that person whom we love. Now actually, to whom do we want to offer ourselves? To whom should we offer ourselves? To whom? Ultimately, to whom should we offer ourselves? Who will answer this question? Is it such a difficult question? Those who want to answer the question, please raise your hands. I would like to see one of our new students here, those who came for the seminar. Can you can any one of you tell me, to whom should we offer ourselves? Yes. Who loves you? Okay, very good. Very good point. We must offer ourselves to somebody who loves us. Very good. Now tell me, who loves you the most? Krishna. Isn't it? Who loves you the most? Your friend? Your father, your mother? Yes, they love you. But the love for Krishna is incomparable. Krishna loves us the most. Now let us see how can I justify this statement. Let us find out whether Krishna really loves us. We made the statement that Krishna loves us, but now let us find out. Is it true that Krishna loves us? Can you give some example to prove that Krishna loves you? Any of you? Any of the new students who? Try. Can you prove that Krishna loves you? You can tell me. You can try to answer.
Krishna gave us air, light and water.
Very good. Then why didn't you raise your hand? You're feeling shy? No, okay. Very good point. Because Krishna gave us air, light, and tell me something more. Water, food, right? Why Krishna is giving it to you? Because he loves you. So do you all agree with this point? Krishna loves you, that's why Krishna is giving you light, air, water, food and everything. If he didn't love you, why would he give it to you? Now, is it Krishna who is actually providing us with all these things? Or is it happening just by accident? Does food come, just say, now is the mango season. Did you see mango in a tree? Did the mango just come on a tree by accident? It is a very systematic arrangement how a fruit appears in a tree. The grains come in the plants. Now does it come out accidentally? Is it accidental happening that a seed falls on the ground and a tree comes out? No. These are all divine arrangements of Krishna. So, what's your name? Tarun. Tarun made a statement. Tarun made a statement that Krishna loves, the way we understand that Krishna loves us is because Krishna is giving us the light, the air, the water, the food and everything we need. Now is that point clear? Now think about it deeply. That how Krishna loves you. Now is there anyone who loves you more than that? More than Krishna? So the point was made that we must love somebody who loves us. Right? We must surrender ourselves to offer ourselves to somebody who loves us. Now Krishna loves us the most. Now you tell me, who should you surrender to? Krishna. Right? You agree with me? Okay. So this is how we begin to realize how Krishna is loving us. Therefore we must surrender unto Him. And when one surrenders to Krishna, then he is called a devotee of Krishna. So, when we develop this relationship with Krishna, we develop an intense loving relationship, then we feel that a separation from Krishna is unbearable. It becomes totally unbearable to bear the separation from Him. One feels, how can I continue to live without being with Him? Now, as this verse is describing, as this chapter is describing, that's how the Pandavas felt. When they got the news that Krishna left the planet. Krishna left. Arjun came and gave the news. This is what Arjun is actually describing. Arjuna is describing that first Krishna made the Jadus fight with themselves and kill themselves. Do you know these incidents? How many of you know what happened before Krishna left the planet? How many of you know that Krishna came to this planet? God came here. Please raise your hands. Those who knew, those who know that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, came here on this planet. Please raise your hands. Those who... What about you all? Taken for granted? Yeah. Or you are so senior that you don't have to raise your hands. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And when did Krishna come to this planet? 5,000 years ago. Do you know where Krishna came? He appeared in Vrindavan, he appeared in Mathura. Krishna came in Vrindavan and then he went to Dwarka. And why did Krishna come? Okay, this question I'll ask. I forgot your name. Vishesh. Vishesh. Okay. Okay, Vishesh, you stand up and answer this question. Why did Krishna come? Look at them. You have to answer to them. Why did Krishna come? Can you tell us? Huh? Okay. Krishna comes. Sit down. Krishna came. Why does Krishna come? Krishna himself told about that. Why did Krishna come? Why does Krishna come to this planet? To kill the demons and to protect the devotees. Krishna comes here. Why? To protect the devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. In this way, Krishna establishes dharma. And sambhavami juge juge. That's what Krishna himself said. So 5,000 years ago, why Krishna came? Krishna came to protect the sadhus and kill the demons and to establish dharma. So when he did that, after he accomplished his mission, after all the demons were killed and the devotees were secured, dharma was established, Krishna decided to go back to the spiritual world. But before going back, Krishna made the Yadus, the Yadus are Krishna's eternal associates. So Krishna decided to take the Yadus also back to the spiritual world. Therefore, what Krishna arranged? Krishna arranged that the Yadus would fight with themselves and kill themselves. Now, do you know why Krishna made this arrangement? That Yadus would fight among themselves and kill themselves? Because no one else could kill the Yadus. It's only the Yadus who could kill the Yadus. Yadus were so powerful because they're Krishna's eternal associates. No one else could kill them. So Krishna made this arrangement. It's like a drama. Krishna's associates are eternal. There is no question of a Yadu dying. Krishna's eternal associates who are situated in the spiritual identity, there is no question of dying. Does the soul die? No. So if one is situated in a spiritual identity, does he die? No, he doesn't die. It is only Krishna's Leela, Krishna's pastimes. His pastimes is like a play on a stage. On a play on a stage, When an actor dies, does he really die? No, it's just an act. Huh? So similarly, Krishna's pastimes are like acting. They don't die, but it appears to the others, those who are watching the play, they feel, oh, he died. And this way, when the hero dies or the heroine dies, people start to cry. But the hero didn't die. Huh? Right? And the hero didn't die. But even when they see the hero in the screen dying, then they start to cry. So similarly, when somebody watches Krishna's pastimes, he becomes overwhelmed with emotion also. And that is the purpose, to stir our emotions, to develop our love for Krishna. So in this way, when the Pandavas got the news that Krishna left the planet, and they got the news that first Krishna finished all the jadus, killed all the jadus, made the jadus kill each other, and then he left himself. So this is the news that Arjun brought to Yudhishthir Maharaj. And then when Yudhishthir Maharaj got the news, what did he decide? Yudhishthir Maharaj decided to leave everything and give up his body. Now to commit suicide is not advisable. But this Mahaprasthan, that is giving up one's body by not eating, not drinking, not resting, but walking and walking and walking and then give the body up. That is a bona fide process. It's not really suicide. It is only a devotee of Krishna who is in deep love for Krishna can act in such a way. Although apparently it may sound like suicide, similarly, when one, due to the separation from the Lord, gives up his body, not all of a sudden, when one kills himself, it's sudden. That is suicide. One hangs himself or blows his brain or puts himself under a moving train. So that is a sudden thing and that is not desirable. But this kind of thing, Mahaprasthan, shows that what deep determination one has due to one's love for Krishna. Like, stop eating, stop sleeping, stop drinking. What happens normally? If we don't eat for one day, we fast for one day, then what happens? The next day we want to eat up the whole universe, don't we? But this is not just a temporary thing, it's until the end they would act like that. So this chapter is describing in this way the Pandavas retire timely. The Pandavas left their home, left their palaces, and they went towards the Himalayas, they left towards the Himalayas, and they went on Mahaprasthan. Draupadi also joined them. Jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram. So Draupadi was the first one to fall. Then next was Sahadev. Then after Sahadev, Nakul. After Nakul, Arjun. After Arjun, Bhim. You know where Bhima's body fell? Bhima's body fell near Badrinath. Can you imagine? He just walked. And where was the Hastinapur? Hastinapur is Delhi. From Delhi, they walked and walked and walked without taking any rest or eating anything till their body fell. So Bhim walked from Delhi to Badrinath, high up in the Himalayas, and he was the last one to fall. And then for Yudhishthir Maharaj, a chariot came from the heavenly planet to take him there. Yudhishthir Maharaj was so pure that he didn't die. In his self-same body, he went back, he was allowed to go to the heavenly planet. When the body becomes pure, then it becomes suitable for going to the heavenly planet. Otherwise, for heavenly planet, we need a different type of body. Just like when you go up in the mountains where it's very cold, do you go in the same dress? You have to put on thick woolen clothes. Or when you go to some hot climate, then do you wear the same climate? No. In a hot climate, what do you wear? You wear light clothes. So similarly, to go to different planets, we need different types of bodies. Like, are those planets empty? All these planets and stars that we see, are they empty places? Or there are people in there, living beings there? What do you think? Are they empty? No. Like sun planet, Surya Mandal, is sun planet empty? No. Sun planet, there are living entities. But to live in sun planet, you can well imagine, it's so hot that even before this body can approach that planet, this body will be burned to ashes. Now tell me, to live in sun planet, what kind of body you need? You need a body suitable to that situation. Like sun planet is a fiery planet, it's fire. So there the bodies are made of fire. Similarly, moon planet is very cold. Therefore the bodies are suitable to moon planet. In this way, according to our situation, we get different types of bodies. Like for example, in water, are there living entities? In water? There are living entities, like fishes, aquatics. Now they have a body which is suitable for living in the water, right? Now if you bring a fish onto the land, what will happen? It won't be able to survive. Similarly, if you take a man into the water, will he be able to stay in water? No. Why? Because his body is not suitable for water. So if there can be living entities in water, if there can be living entities on land, on earth, why cannot there be living entities in fire? Isn't it common sense? There are living life in water, there is life in air, there is life in land. So can there be life in fire? Yes, sure. But to live in that atmosphere, they need a body suitable to that atmosphere. Anyway, so Yudhishthir Maharaj he was so pure that in the same body, his body was so pure that with the same body he could go to the heavenly planet. Hare Krishna. Does anybody have any question? Yes. Take the microphone.
When in the battle of Mahabharata, Yudhishthira Maharaj was told to speak a lie, and Ashwatthama he refused. And Arjuna in turn accepted whatever Lord Krishna said, and he will kill his teacher. At times it is considered that Arjuna was a greater follower of Lord Krishna. Here we are taking Yudhishthira Maharaj having a fear of God. How this is to be, this apparent act of God.
Yeah. You see, the ultimate consideration of right and wrong is to follow the instructions of Krishna is right and to disobey Krishna is wrong. That's the ultimate consideration. Like for example, the law is there in a state. But what is the ultimate law? To abide by the government or the king and not to disobey him. Now the law may be that the cars should drive from the right hand side of the road. But if the king says, look, drive the car on the left hand side of the road. And if you say, no, I can't drive, I have to drive on the right hand side of the road. So you see the point. Like the law is to follow the order of the king. Not just blindly follow the law and disobey the king. Now sometimes, actually in Mahabharata we find that, cases like that. Like Yudhishthira Maharaj, as you were asking, what's the difference between Yudhishthira Maharaj's act and Arjun's act? You see, Yudhishthira Maharaj's crime was not, his sin was not that he lied, because he did not lie. When did Yudhishthira Maharaj lie? He refused to say that Ashwatthama is dead, although Krishna told him to say that. So then Krishna told Bhima that Bhima, our brother won't lie. Our brother won't tell a lie. Go kill that elephant called Ashwatthama. And then probably our brother will be able to tell the truth. Right? And so Bhima immediately went and killed that elephant. He did it in a moment practically. Because Dronacharya was coming. And then when by the time Dronacharya came, now Krishna said, Yudhishthira, tell that Ashwatthama is dead. But still Yudhishthira said, Ashwatthama, the elephant, is dead. Not Ashwatthama is dead. But in Sanskrit, structure is like, Ashwatthama is dead, the elephant. Ashwatthama hata iti gaja. So when he said the last part, after he said Ashwatthama is dead, before Yudhishthira Maharaj could say the last, when he said the last word, Krishna blew the conch shell. So Dronacharya couldn't hear that. But Yudhishthira Maharaj's offense was that when Krishna told him to do something, he refused to do it. That is the... So that's why I was saying the ultimate law is to abide by the king, abide by Krishna, the lawmaker. Who made all this law? And here we see that Bhishma Dev also failed. Like he was so adherent to the rules of moral codes, but he did not consider Krishna. He didn't lie. That's why Arjuna is a greater devotee than Yudhishthira Maharaj. Krishna didn't reveal himself to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Thank you. Krishna. Any other questions? He can come any way he wants. Like there are many other incarnations. And like, how did he come? How did Narasimha come? He came from a tree, right? Similarly, there is how did he come? He just appeared to Satyavasa, Manu. And so in this way the Lord can come any way he wants. But sometimes he takes birth. It appears that he took birth, but he doesn't actually take birth. Like Krishna himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam javetti tattatah tvakta dehang punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. He is saying that when one understands that my birth and my activities are divine, he doesn't have to take birth again. So see, if we understand that Krishna's birth is divine, then we will become free from this cycle of birth and death. And Krishna also says that Ajopi san abhayatma bhutanam ishwaropi san prakriting sam adhishthaya sambhavami atma mayaya. He is saying Aja Opi San means although I am unborn, I am not born, I never was born, and nor do I ever take birth. Aja Opi San Abhayatma, I am inexhaustible. And Bhutanam Ishwaropi San, I am the Lord of all the living entities. Bhutanam Ishwaropi San. Prakriting Sham Adhishthaya, taking shelter of my Prakriti, Yogamaya. Sambhavami, Sambhavami means I manifest. Atma Maya, by my internal potency, Yogamaya. It appears that Krishna takes birth. As I told you, like a drama, it appears that somebody died on the stage, right? But did he really die? No. Similarly, it appears that Krishna took birth. Was he really born? No.
Means drama take place in Kali Yuga.
In Kali Yuga, generally the Lord doesn't come to perform his Leela in that way. He comes covering his identity. That is, he comes not as the Lord, but he comes as a devotee. And that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On this altar, you know who they are? They are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna and Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram. So they came, but they didn't come as the Lord himself. The Lord came as a devotee to teach us how to become a devotee. And then in this age of Kali, the Lord has another incarnation, that is the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then at the end of Kali, the Lord will come as Kalki avatar. What is the duration of the age of Kali? Do you know? The duration of the age of Kali is 432,000 years. Out of that, only 5,000 years just went by. So there is still 427,000 years to go. So at the end of Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Kalki avatar, and he will Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam, as so he will annihilate the dushkritams or demons, And by protecting the devotees, he will again establish dharma. Yes.
You said that Krishna came on this earth to destroy the sinners and save the righteous. My question is, who is the righteous man? Because every man come on this earth by sin. Then who is the righteous man that Krishna took?
Yes, very good point. Very good. You see, everyone goes to prison because of some crime. But why does one go to the prison? Why a criminal is sent to prison? Why he is punished? To rectify his mistake. Isn't it? But through punishment he realizes what he shouldn't do. So this point you made, like everyone in this material nature is a sinner. Yes, that's true. Because otherwise we wouldn't have come here. If I'm not a criminal, I won't go to a prison house. Right? So similarly, material nature is compared to a prison house. And we are in this prison because of our crime. Now what is actually a crime? What is a crime? Can you tell me what is the definition of crime? Or what actually is crime? Crime means to break the law. To break the law is crime. Now who makes the law? Who makes the law? Generally the king or the government makes the law. So similarly, the ultimate law is made by Krishna, the King of Kings. God is the King of Kings, right? And he makes the ultimate law. And that law is called dharma. Now, one may be in the prison, but if he decides that I learnt my lesson and I am not going to disobey the king anymore, I will follow him, I'll abide by his instruction. Then will he be punished in the prison? No. Then the king will say, okay, let him go out. He has become rectified. And so similarly, when Krishna sees that we are becoming obedient to him, then he frees us from the material bondage. And not only he frees us from the material bondage, Krishna says, let him come back to my palace. The king, not only releases the prisoner, but if the king says, okay, this is a very good prisoner, this is a very good person, bring him to my palace, let him live with me. Won't that be wonderful? So that's what Krishna does when one becomes obedient to him, when one surrenders unto him, and when one becomes his devotee.
How do we get sure that we go to the heaven?
How did?
Sure. What is the surety that?
Yeah. You see, the question is, what is the surety that we will go to heaven? Actually, our destination is not heaven. Heaven is also in the material nature. Heaven is also part of the prison. Like in a prison, you have some better facilities. Sometimes you become a first-class prisoner, right? And the first-class prisoner gets some better facility. But he's still a prisoner. So really what we need to do, or what we want to do, is to get out of the prison house altogether. And now as you are asking, what is the surety? So I just corrected, not that we want to go to heaven, we want to go back to the spiritual world. The surety is that there are so many examples. So many in the past have received that result. So from that we get to know that if I also act in that same way, I will also get the same result. So you may say, well, how can I trust? Well, that you have to do. That trust, that faith you have to have. But one thing is that when you start practicing the process, then you see, you yourself experience that yes, you are becoming free, your life is becoming better, your facilities are increasing. So just by becoming a devotee of the Lord, when you see that all these wonderful things are happening, your faith becomes stronger. But initially you have to start with that faith that it will work. If I act in this way, it will work. Hare Krishna. Okay, yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Then in which way Lord Krishna leaves this world? In which way?
In which way? Okay, as I told you that it is a drama that he was playing, right? It's an act he was playing. His appearance was a drama. All that he did was a kind of a drama. And then at the end when he left, that was also the part of the drama, right? And the way it happened is Krishna was lying under a tree and his feet, which has the color of lotus, pink, it was sticking out of the grass. And a hunter mistook that feet of Krishna to be a rabbit and shoot an arrow. And that arrow pierced his foot and Krishna died. I mean Krishna, apparently. So that's why I wanted to make that point clear, that his appearance, his birth is divyam, his pastimes, his apparent death also is a pastime. So that is, it seemed that Krishna died in that way. But see how it reacts, how the reactions take place. The devotees know that it's Krishna's pastimes. Krishna who, like what to speak of, killing all the demons, like lifting Govardhan, performing all kinds of wonderful feats. Even in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna's whole body was pierced with arrows. In Madras, there is a temple called Parthasarathi temple. And in that temple, the deity of Krishna is pierced all over. Because after the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna actually came there at that place. And at that time his whole body was pierced with arrows. Although he was not fighting, he was just the charioteer of Arjuna, but still so many arrows were shot and he was hit. Now nothing happened to Krishna when his whole body was pierced, right? And just an arrow, not of a warrior like Maharathi, like Duryodhan or Bhishma or Karna or Drona or Kripa. I mean, just an ordinary hunter who just hunts some animals. His arrow pierced Krishna's foot and Krishna died. Will anybody accept that? No, a devotee will not, but an atheist who doesn't believe in God, he will say, see, I told you all this while that Krishna is not God. See how Krishna died. So that proves that Krishna is not God. So atheists will get materials to become more atheistic, and a devotee will get the opportunity to become more attached to Krishna.
And sir, what made Yudhishthira's body so pure? What made Yudhishthira's body so pure?
Oh, Yudhishthira's body becomes so pure. Yeah, because Yudhishthira was a very virtuous person. He stuck to dharma to the point. He was so virtuous, he was so virtuous that he became, even his body became pure, so much so that the body was eligible to go to the heavenly planet, the upper planetary systems. So I think somebody else has a question here? Yeah, okay. Hare Krishna.
Just I would also just one basic question that we have just rightly have justified that Krishna loves us and we love Krishna. Then I just want to ask you that why is in India why is so much misery? We have find out large mass of the people who cannot earn their livelihood, who cannot earn food for it. Then why it is so happening and what we can do about it?
Okay, good point. Good point. Why in India there is so much suffering, so much deprivation? Now tell me, are they following Krishna? The people, those who are suffering, are they following Krishna? Are they accepting Krishna? Okay, because they are not, because not in an exact way they are doing it, that's why they are suffering. And especially, you see, India is a land of dharma, dharma kshetra. Now, in the land of dharma, when one acts in a sinful way, the reaction of the sin is multiplied by thousands of times. Similarly, on the dharma kshetra, if someone acts in a pious way, the reaction of his piety is magnified by 1,000 times. Right? So it's a land of dharma. In this land, everyone is meant to be virtuous, dharmic. But when people become atheistic in this land, then naturally their suffering becomes very, very intense. Actually, the land of India is the most glorious land. The land of India, it's the India that used to rule over the entire earth planet, even 5,000 years ago. Before 5,000 years, before Parikshit Maharaj, up to Parikshit Maharaj, it is the Indian kings of India, used to rule over the entire earth planet. Not only the land part of the earth, but including the oceans. Sa Sagara. Sa means along with, Sagara means ocean. The rulers used to rule, the rulers of India used to rule over the entire earth planet, including the ocean. And in this land, because this land is most advanced spiritually, therefore materially also this land was most advanced. But unfortunately now, since people have rejected the path of dharma, since people have rejected their submission to the Lord, since people have become atheistic, that's why their suffering has become multiplied. Now my point is, yes, it's a cause of concern. Why people in India are suffering? And my solution to that will be, let these people become God conscious. Let these people become virtuous. Then India will become the greatest nation in the world. Yeah, very good point. What you can do, yes, and I will correct it a little bit, that instead of saying, you said what we can do, I will suggest you ask what I can do, right? What you can do is understand the message of the Vedas, understand the message of Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of the Vedas. You see, the entire the essence of the Vedas is Bhagavad Gita. If you understand Bhagavad Gita, you understood the Vedas perfectly. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam is another essence of the Vedas. So okay, let's stick to just the teachings of the Vedas. You understand it from Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And by understanding, by mastering the subject, then you can go out and teach this subject to others, right? And if you do that, this is how you will create the awareness. So it's a matter of educating people, right? People are not bad. The mass, generally, they are innocent. But when there is no proper direction, when there is no proper guidance, then the mass become misled. Like today in India, consider what is happening. People have become misled, unfortunately. They are pious. They want to be. They want to follow dharma. They want to be situated on the path of righteousness. But because there is no education, tell me, is this education available in the schools? No. Is this education available in the universities? No. Is this education available at home? No. So how can we expect that people will get this knowledge? That's why we are establishing these temples and inviting you all to come. So that first you become the students and then you become the teachers. And then you have to go out. It's a very noble intention that you have displayed. That is the right way to think. What people are suffering, what can I do? The way you asked. People are suffering, what can I do to mitigate the suffering of these people? And that is the real noble attitude. We are very happy to that you displayed that attitude. And that is what we have to do. Like, say, we see people are suffering, say from disease. And then what do you see that people are suffering from disease, then what do? You want to learn the cure, and then you go out and treat them. So that is what we have to do. We have to teach people the right understanding, give them the right understanding, and then their life will improve. You will see these devotees that they have offered themselves, and you can see they're so much happier. I mean, I can tell you for myself, I was suffering like anything. But since I came to this path, since I accepted this path, no more suffering. No more suffering. Everything is full of joy. In a material nature, we all are suffering constantly. Tell me, does anybody go to the prison to enjoy? No. Why does one go to prison? To suffer, right? But this suffering is meant to remind him that he is not meant to suffer. And there is a way to enjoyment, real enjoyment. So you'll also see it. When you practice, you will see that how your life improves. It becomes full of joy. And yes, then you have to become a teacher. Right? When you have become a master and PhD, then you have to go out and teach. And where do you teach? This knowledge is necessary not only in India. This education is needed all over the world. All over the world. So, and the Indians have that responsibility because, as I mentioned, it's a dharma kshetra. Just by being born in India, we have come very close to Krishna, to this process of Krishna consciousness. That's why it is the responsibility of Indians to go out. Like a boy who is the son of a teacher, doesn't he get a better opportunity to become a teacher? So similarly, Indians have a better opportunity to educate people with this science because they have been born in the family of teachers. Right? Yeah. Huh?
My father is teacher.
Okay, very good. Very good. So now you teach not only the material subject, but the spiritual subject. Huh? Where do you live? Oh, I see. You're visiting here. In Mumbai? Oh, and how come you're in Ujjain? Oh, they're here. Oh, wonderful. Huh? Even if you're in Bombay, where do you live in Bombay? Huh? Oh, Navin Bombay. I see. Anyway, how far is Juhu from there? From your place? Distance here. 3 to 5 kilometers. It's not far. So in Juhu we have a temple. Please come. Huh? Visit our temples whenever you have time. And whenever you are in Ujjain, please come here. And now that you have expressed your desire to become a teacher, so we will pursue that you do become a teacher. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande. Hare Hare.